And the players doing a little talking here before tip-off. It's all in good fun right now. Welcome, everyone. Let's get ready for some NBA basketball on 2K Sports. This is Kevin Harlan with Clark Kellogg and Steve Kerr. And joining us a bit later from the sidelines, Doris Burke. The starting fives for our game. Here are tonight's starting lineups. First for the Clippers, CP3 at point with Redick there at the back. And it's Jordan in at the 5, roaming the paint. Then there's Jared Dudley, and it's Griffin in at the 4 slot. And looking at the Bucks, Brandon Knight is out there with Mayo. And inside, a kinetic shot blocker rebounder out of Virginia Commonwealth, Harry Sanders. And it's Caron Butler. And it's Ilyasova in a power forward position.
Boy, you look at the Clippers, and they clearly are one of the most entertaining teams in the NBA. One of the outstanding team shows you'll see. They have fun, they're up and down, but they're a hard-working group, and a lot of that you have to attribute to their leader, Chris Paul.
Well, Clark, as you were taking a look at the Clippers, they are a fun team, an amazing product so far with big names all around. But, you know, Steve, they've got to work hand in hand to make sure they're always at their best and not take things for granted.
Well, I think it's still a team that's a work in progress. You've got a young front line in Griffin and DeAndre Jordan, great point guard in Paul, but the new additions have helped, and I think it'll be interesting to see if this team can gel during the playoffs.
And so the Los Angeles Clippers get the first points of the ballgame.
Well, those chances are almost always 2 points for him. I guess the defense did what it had to do to bother him.
Paul goes in. So the whistle blows on the shot, and 2 free throws for the contact right there.
You know, guys, you look at Chris Paul's path to greatness, and it's really kind of a neat story. When he was in high school, he didn't even make the varsity team until he was a junior and cracked 6 feet tall. And the school he wanted to go to, North Carolina, understandable for a kid who was in the state of North Carolina, the Tar Heels didn't even offer him a scholarship.
And that one falls for Paul.
And with Chris Paul, he ended up playing 2 seasons at Wake Forest, led them to a Sweet 16 appearance. You know, the school retired his number 3 jersey back in March. So for a guy so lightly recruited out of high school, what an incredible achievement.
And his twin brother has been just as successful in the insurance business.
That's right, Cliff.
Yes, Cliff. Terrific. In fact, he handles my home and auto.
Does he?
Yes, he does.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, I have an umbrella policy.
You do? He's a great assistant. Wonderful. Bucks on defense. It's a 3-point game. Outside Jordan. Pass to Dudley. 6 to shoot. A drive by Paul. Cannot hit. Now here's Ilyasova. Clark, they've been looking out of sync offensively.
You know what? A basket here would do a lot for their confidence.
Jordan with it. Caron Butler covering. And Redick kicks to Paul. Paul can't get that one to fall. Outside Mayo. Unloads from 13. It's hauled in by DeAndre Jordan.
He's not necessarily a strong inside presence, but he needs to polish those chances off.
Redick passes to Griffin. The shot is off. Nice D from Sanders. Bucks have gone 0 of 3 from the field to start the game. Here's Knight. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him.
Well, Brandon Knight out of Kentucky is more of a combo guard than a pure point when you look at him offensively. But with his long arms and good athleticism and at 6'3", I think there's a lot of upside for him at the defensive end of the floor. I think he's a guy that could defend 1 and 2s effectively.
And that one misses. And for Brandon Knight offensively, he's still trying to figure it out.
I think he's best as a spot-up shooter. I mean, he does have some point guard skills. He's got some athleticism, but he's really an excellent outside shooter when he's got time to set up.
Good on the second free throw.
You know, in Larry Drew's case, it was a bit of an unusual situation once the season concluded. He was in the final year of his deal. The Hawks said we'll interview other candidates and left him free to interview for other head coaching positions, and he landed in Milwaukee.
And the rejection by Sanders.
They've had a cold start so far, just 1 of 5 from the floor here early.
A nice shot by Knight.
They really can't allow him too many open looks like that. I mean, that's just inviting trouble.
Well, Stephen, back to Coach Drew, of course, he ended up signing with the Bucks.
Well, that was an interesting move for him to go from Atlanta to Milwaukee. You know, the Hawks were one of the better defensive teams in the league last year. I think that's what the Bucks saw in Drew. And that's the idea for him to really help this team get the most out of its players, particularly defensively.
Lets it go from deep. And it's Griffin with the rebound.
And poor shooting from him this quarter. His shooting percentage nowhere near where he'd like it to be.
Off the pick. Dudley's shot is good.
And he came off that screen. The defense just couldn't get over the top. Beautiful play.
Yep, and without a hand in his face, he's going to bury those.
Knight gets a screen from Ilyasova. Knight dishes to Butler. Pulls it up. No good off the back of the rim.
Major defensive lapse right there. I mean, he's not a player you can leave open for a jump shot. You got to stay attached to him. They're lucky he couldn't punish them for it.
Nice job coming off that screen. Dudley's got his second bucket.
And he came off that screen. The defense just couldn't get over the top. Beautiful play.
Yep, and without a hand in his face, he's going to bury those.
Now, here is Knight. Ilyasova inside the line, and the jumper is good. Ilyasova's got his first 2 points. Clippers leading by 3. Paul outside. Over to the left wing. Griffin kicks to Paul. 5 on the clock. A step back shot here. Nice spin off the left rim and in.
That mid-range jumper, just another one of his weapons.
And Milwaukee calls their first time out of the game. Big group substitution here for the Clippers. Byron Mullins is checked in for Jordan. Jamison comes in for Blake Griffin. Jamal Crawford, he's checked in for J.J. Redick. And it's Collison in for Chris Paul. And there's a minute 45 left to play in the first quarter. Now let's send it down to Doris Burke, who is able to catch up with Coach Doc Rivers.
Kevin, he thinks this team is such a tight-knit group that it's starting to get to a point where they can read each other's minds. They'll see a guy cutting without even looking up, and it's a lot of fun to watch. Hopefully, the fun can continue, guys.
Well said, Doris. Thanks. And important in every game, but early on here, guys, we'll be looking out for how they manufacture opportunities.
Well, I know Coach is worried about their shot selection at times, so I'm not surprised at what he had to say.
Steve, I don't know a coach who doesn't worry about shot selection. You talk about something that riles up most coaches, it's seeing their guys taking bad shots. Boy, that was a rugged screen set there, fellas, and the defense didn't even try to go through that one.
Collison against Ridenour. Outside Collison. Here's Crawford. Again, the Clippers.
When it rains, it pours. Another jump shot tickles that twine.
Yeah, they've got it flowing right now, guys. They're putting together a nice little run.
Now, here's Ridenour. No scoring yet from him, but that's likely to change. 27 seconds left to play in the first. Henson the pass to Ridenour. 4 on the clock. And there's the whistle. Fouled hard on the shot. He'll go to the line.
And the defense looking to protect the rim at all costs.
Yeah, I like that. A foul to save the layup. Make him earn it at the line.
It's his first trip to the line.
2 shots.
First free throw is good. Second free throw, no good. Clippers leading by 6. Outside Collison. Now the feed to Jamison. Pass to Mullins. And 2 free throws coming up as he misses that one. Drawing the whistle on a lot of contact there. Los Angeles shooting their 3rd and 4th free throw shots of the night.
Well, you look at the numbers, Kevin. Last year they were around 71% from the line as a team, so not a very good number there.
And I know the free throw shooting is an area they focused on improving coming into this season.
And he can't get the first one. He hits the second from the line. Here's Knight. The shot is off. And so the first quarter is in the books. Clippers ahead. Ending the second quarter with a 13-5 run. And we'll be back shortly for the start of the second quarter. And the first quarter is in the books. Second about ready to get underway. And some stats here, guys. The scoring breakdown for Los Angeles.
Well, they've come out of that locker room with the hot hand. Those jumpers have been falling for them.
And the other thing we're seeing is great ball movement. We're seeing a lot of good offensive execution, ball movement, player movement, setting up assists.
Now here's Ilyasova. Dishes to Ridnour. That's good. Ridnour's got the first points up on the board here in the second quarter for the Bucks. Los Angeles leading by 5. Paul dishes to Collison. And it's blocked by Henson. The Bucks shooting just 33%, struggling to get good looks.
Well, for John Henson, the 14th pick of the 2012 NBA draft out of North Carolina, he really was caught in a bit of a logjam in Milwaukee. There were a lot of players at his position, the power forward spot, on their roster last season, and that kept him from getting extended minutes.
And keeping us updated from the sideline, let's swing it over to Doris Burke for an update. Hi, Doris.
Hey, guys. Well, even though Blake Griffin is playing in the bright lights of Los Angeles, he seems to keep a relatively level head. Sure, he's rubbed a few guys in the league the wrong way, but he says, quote, for every 50 people out there that love you, there are going to be 50 people out there that hate you and say you aren't good. For me, it's not listening to either one. If anything, I listen to the negative more than the positive. Kevin, not bad advice.
Certainly a player to root for. Thanks, Doris. And Clark, you mentioned for John Henson, tough to get minutes his rookie season, but Steve, per minute, his numbers were very impressive.
Well, if you look at Henson, he's one of those guys who just fills up the stat sheet. I mean, he's going to have numbers in just about every category. Incredibly long, active defender, can guard multiple positions, and he can score around the basket on putbacks.
That free throw, no good.
Well, John Henson out of North Carolina, really known for his defense. Question is, can he develop offensively? He's kind of a tweener, not really big enough to score on the low block, doesn't have the shooting range to play the three. So we'll see where he fits in, but he's got a ton of potential.
DeAndre Jordan's checked in for the Clippers. And the second free throw, good. And for John Henson, there's no question with his ability defensively. If he develops offensively, Clark, it could really catapult his career as a player.
And you know, Kevin, I think in his rookie season, he was a little further along in that regard than many expected. Not the greatest percentages, but he did score at a pretty high clip when he was on the court.
6 on the shot clock. Paul goes in.
You know, we focus so much on Chris Paul's offensive abilities, but defensively, he's one of the best point guards in the NBA. Perennially at the top of the list in terms of most steals per game. Very strong for a guy who's maybe not as physically imposing as some of the other guards in the league.
Yeah, he is that. He is deceptively strong and has great anticipation, and if he does pilfer it from you, he knows exactly what to do, whether leading the break for a layup for somebody else or getting to the rim for his own basket. I mean, he can dish or switch. Pick your poison with him.
Butler, he's checked in for John Henson. And that one goes in. 2 from the line that time.
With all of the on-court skills that Chris Paul possesses, perhaps his greatest attribute is the leadership he brings to a team. He just has a way about bringing guys together, encouraging them while also challenging them and holding them accountable. They started the game off tortoise-like, but their offense coming to life.
Tortoise-like. Wow, Clark. Yeah, they're putting it together, but still trailing. Their offense is finally getting some traction.
Go back to that leadership that Chris Paul provides. I saw that some last year in the general manager category said that he might be the best single leader on any team in the NBA.
I would agree with that. He's just a dominant presence out there, despite the fact that he's kind of short, but he just understands his point guard's role. Passionate about the game, smart basketball player, and loves to play.
Shot's good.
Make it 10 of their last 12 points coming off assists.
Wow, are they moving the ball right now? They look good.
Jordan sets the pick for Paul. Throws it up high, and Griffin slams it in.
You can see the eye contact there. Gave a little nod and then burst to the rim for the alley-oop slam.
No doubt, Clark. A pair of teammates with a terrific feel for each other out on the floor.
And what a play to make in a close game, a potential momentum builder.
Here's Rittenauer following the basket by Blake Griffin. Feeds it to Mayo. Fires from deep. That's good. And it's Rittenauer picking up the assist. Rittenauer's got his 4th assist in this one. And the Clippers decide to take their first time out here. Let's go quickly over to Doris Burke for an update.
During that break, Coach Rivers had some words for his team. Too many of their shots have been low percentage, he told them. He wants better ball movement on the perimeter to get the shooters better looks. So, Kevin, change is already being made on the fly here in the second quarter.
And thank you for that, Doris. Now here's Paul. He's got 5. Griffin sets the screen for Paul. Rebound, Milwaukee. Sanders has got rebound number 5 here tonight. Now, here is Rittenauer. Not a lot of room. Excellent D there from J.J. Redick. Paul with the ball. Crawford outside. Griffin a screen on Butler. No coverage that time. Crawford's got 5.
A big problem for the Bucks last season was closing out games in the 4th quarter. You know, too often they would see their defense fall to the wayside as soon as the game started heading down the stretch. And as a result, they lost a lot of close ones.
Now a timeout called by Milwaukee. Well, Clark, you brought it up. The Bucks defense would be solid for 3/4 of the game, but would just not look like they were supposed to be in the fourth quarter at all. Not sure, Steve, if it was fatigue or something else that got to them.
I thought one of the keys was they didn't have great perimeter defense. And so even though they were a good shot blocking team, they were constantly having to cover up on penetration. And so even though you might get some shot blocks, you're also going to give up layups and offensive rebounds. That was a major problem for the Bucks last year.
Now, here's Sanders. He's had some playing time, but no scoring yet from him. Back to Butler. Shoots. Out of bounds. The Clippers take possession.
4 seconds on the shot clock. 4.
Clippers have gone only 2 of 7 from the field since the second quarter got underway. Paul goes in. It's rebounded by Pachulia.
He's trying to shoot his way out of it, guys, and as long as they're in the lead, he's going to continue to try to find his rhythm.
It's Butler that time on the assist by Knight. Butler's got it all tied up now for the Bucks.
I love his kind of mid to long range jump shot. It's a specialty of his, especially in catch and shoot situations.
Yeah, you're exactly right. He's a very skilled catch and shoot type of player. I mean, it adds a dangerous element to his game that he can make that jump shot. You know, the defense that time was just content to stay out of the way. I mean, no resistance at all. They let him do exactly what he wanted to right there.
Steve, no one looked too anxious to take him on.
No, you know, guys, I think that speaks to his strength and his agility. I mean, he's not a guy you want to stand in the way of as a defender.
Here's Sanders. Bank shot, no good. The Clippers have gone just 33% from the field in what's been a cold second quarter for them. Just 3 of 9. And Redick kicks to Douglas. Now Griffin inside. The fader. The putback. Great positioning on the putback. And it's 8 points for Jordan.
They are not rotating nearly quickly enough on defense down low. Got to get quicker there.
And even if it costs them some foul trouble, I mean, they need to start putting some bodies on bodies. Be physical.
To the paint. And it's out of bounds. The Bucks able to retain possession here. For the Clippers, Byron Mullins comes in for Jordan. And Antoine Jamison is subbed in for Blake Griffin. Bucks trail by 4. We've got a 9-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Delfino passes to Butler, stolen by Dudley. Now here's Collison. Again, Los Angeles.
That's a clean look they gave him there, fellas, and he drains those.
Knight for 3. No luck. And so that brings the first half to a close. Clippers lead by 6. And now let's catch up with Doris Burke, who's standing by on the sideline. Doris?
Thank you, Kevin. Here with Larry Drew. And, Coach, some big minutes in that first half from your bench. How much does it mean that they can come in and give you that kind of lift?
Yeah, I'm very pleased with them. My guys have done a good job. Our bench is pretty solid. And when they come in the game, you know, we expect them to play defense first, and then we'll see what happens on the offensive end.
Coach, thank you. Kevin, in the NBA, the reserves so crucial.
Okay, Doris, thanks. And we'll have the start of the third quarter for you shortly. But first, the halftime show.
And now, brought to you by Sprint.
And coming your way now, the Monday edition of our halftime show. Let's get it started. The Los Angeles Clippers in front against the Bucks at Bradley Center. A hardened, formidable defensive club, and they're living up to that billing so far. DeAndre Jordan playing with confidence. He has 8 points, and on the defensive side of the floor, he's definitely been contributing with some focused defensive work.
The Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint.
Welcome back, everyone. The second half about to get underway, and it's been a close one so far.
It's been a solid outing for Jordan. He's got 8 points, and he was able to come up with 1 steal, too.
Yeah, he's defending very well, Clark. He's disrupting the offense. He's playing the passing lanes, trying to put as much pressure on as possible.
The Bucks actually made it back into the playoffs last season, but it wasn't because they were dominant at home. Only 21-20 at the Bradley Center, and those 21 wins were the fewest of any team that played in the playoffs.
Here's Paul. That drops, and it comes off an assist from Jordan. And that's now 7 points for Chris Paul.
Love the energy here in the third quarter, trying to exert their influence and take over this game.
Well, this is the time to do it. They cannot let up at this point. Got to keep it going.
Now, here is Knight. Outside Mayo. 5 to shoot. And there's the pass to Sanders. And it's Griffin with the rebound. Griffin's got 4 rebounds in this game. Clark, as you said, the Bucks didn't offer a lot as far as protecting their home court. In the end, it could come back to bite them as they lost 2 in a row on their home floor and got swept out of the playoffs, Steve, by Miami.
Well, that was a pretty tough matchup for anybody, but for Milwaukee, a team that is below 500, that was near impossible. But look, it was a struggle for the Bucks. We expected that, but getting to the playoffs was an accomplishment. We'll see if they can build on that this year.
Now a timeout called by Milwaukee.
One of the things that really jumps out at you about the Clippers is their depth. Really impressive. I mean, they've surrounded their stars with a bench that includes Jamal Crawford, who was second in the voting for 6th Man of the Year. They've got a nice second unit.
Let's find out what Doris Burke has for us.
Kevin, Doc Rivers was just addressing the plan with his team. He'd like them to better establish the transition game, to pick up the tempo and put pressure on the defense in the open floor. He also wants them using a fundamental offensive approach. Specifically, he'd like to see them running the pick and roll as often as they can. Those could prove to be crucial changes to their strategy with this game getting ready to enter the stretch drive, Kevin.
Thank you, Doris. And we talk about the bench for the Clippers last season. Also guys like Matt Barnes and Lamar Odom. Steve, some good defensive tenacity there too.
Yeah, they had an edge. You know, Barnes really gave them some toughness and some grit. I thought Crawford's shooting gave them some balance where they had a good offense to go with good defense. And then Bledsoe slashing. They were a lot of fun to watch, that bench unit.
Third quarter of play with just over a minute and a half gone by. Knight against Paul. And stolen by Ilyasova. Knight against Paul. And here's Ilyasova outside. It's hauled in by Los Angeles. Here is Paul. He's got 10. That's good. Paul's got the lead up to 11 now for Los Angeles.
They've been good on all 3 of their shots since coming out of the locker room at the break.
Paul against Knight. Here's Mayo. That's good. The assist that time from Knight. And it's 7 points for O.J. Mayo.
Great move to the hoop, and I love the finger roll finish.
Paul gets a screen from Griffin. Chris Paul again. And the Clippers lead by 11.
He's been a different guy in the second half, guys. His shooting percentage far better than it was before the break.
From the wing, and another basket for Milwaukee. The Clippers have gone 4 for 4 from the field since the halftime break. Terrific start to the third quarter. It's rebounded by Ilyasova. Ilyasova's got his 3rd rebound on the night. Finally a miss, but still 4 for 5 shooting to start this third quarter. And that's out of bounds. Milwaukee will retain possession. Byron Mullins is checked in for DeAndre Jordan. It's Mayo on the wing, guarded by Crawford.
Last year, Blake's stats were down, but I thought his impact on the floor was about the same. With that said, in order for him to really take the next step, he's got to be able to knock down the perimeter shot with consistency.
Now, here's Ridnour. After the miss from Dudley. Ridnour with it, and Griffin picks him up defensively. Sanders against Crawford. Sanders' shot is off. course, Blake Griffin played a career low in minutes last season. The team looking to save him for the postseason.
And then, ironically enough, he ends up with a badly sprained ankle during that series with Memphis. So things just didn't go quite well for the Clippers or for Griffin in the playoffs, but they had a great regular season, best record in franchise history.
Ridnour dishes to Butler. Passes it to Sanders. Shot clock at 6. Butler kicks to Mayo. On target from 13 feet. Mayo's got 4 this quarter.
How about the passing? They are moving the ball without any thought, without any agenda.
It's hard to overstate all the points they've scored on assists today. Beautiful to watch.
Well, an illegal screen is one of the toughest calls for the official to make.
You know, I agree with you. You've got to have some sympathy for the referees when they have to make calls like that, but they get paid well, and they're the best in the business, so they can handle it.
1:37 left in the third. Now Ridnour. He's got 5. Here's Henson. Laid in with a nice touch off the glass. Henson's got 7 points in the game.
You got to put bodies on the glass right there. They just are not getting it done on the boards.
Yeah, they've got to do a much better job of going harder than that to the glass.
And the officials will call the illegal screen right there.
Well, that's not been a typical possession for them in this first half. You know, for the most part, they've been pretty smart with the ball.
.111 left in the third quarter.
You know, CP3 did a lot of things, guys, to change the culture of the Clippers, but one that maybe gets overlooked is how much he encourages and models talking on defense with his team. If you don't call out a screen or a rotation on his team, he'll call you out about it.
And here's Collison. O.J. Mayo getting it to go from deep. The Clippers shooting their 7th and 8th free throw attempts for the game right here.
2 shots.
That free throw good from Collison. Hits one, then misses the second attempt from the free throw line.
He did the important part at the line there, the heavy lifting, if you will. Made this a 2-possession game.
And the call is going to be, yes, it is, an illegal screen.
Well, if you're going to set a screen like that, you've got to make sure your feet are set.
I agree with you, and I thought maybe he was set that time, Steve. I thought it was a good screen on his part.
Brandon Knight's checked in for the Bucks. Clippers leading by 5. Outside Collison. From 6 feet. Shots good by Mullins. 34 seconds left to play here in the third. Knight against Crawford. Now, here is Knight. Not a lot of room. Drops in the layup for 2.
Took advantage of some shoddy defense there. They've got to at least get a finger on it.
And here's Collison. He has 5. He kicks it to Jamison. Nice D from Henson. And we've reached the end of the And we've watched 3 so far in this one. And how about a look now at our assist of the game? Brought to you by State Farm.
This was a showstopper, wasn't it? Just a difficult pass to make, and he makes it flawlessly to set up that alley-oop.
Clippers leading by 5. Collison the pass to Redick. Jordan with the screen on Ridnow. Redick. Great use of the pick to create room for the jumper. Redick's got the fourth quarter started here with a bucket for the Clippers. The Bucks shooting from the field, 44%, not bad. Knight against Collison. Knight with it. Pocket 6. The Bucks need to get a shot off here.
He didn't have to get off the ground very far for that one. The big man with the slam.
Well, he makes up for any lack of athleticism with that tremendous size, Clark.
Yeah, he's not exactly a smooth operator, but what he is powerful. And when he gets positioned in the lane, he can go up and get it done.
And the slam by Blake Griffin.
Phenomenal alley-oop slam right there, guys.
They're taking advantage, Clark, of a team that looks lost out there.
Yeah, this is threatening to get kind of ugly out here.
Bucks trail by 7. Here's Delfino. Nice D from Crawford.
That's a shot that he sometimes struggles with, but you can't fault him for taking it when the defense backs off like that.
Into Jordan, and he takes that one up and powers it through.
Tell you what, he can do a lot more damage to that rim than that when he wants to.
And you know, Clark, with the lead they're enjoying, I'm surprised he didn't put a little something extra on that one.
Me too.
Well, I think he did plenty of damage anyway. It was only with one hand, but he threw it down pretty hard.
Now a timeout called by Milwaukee.
Well, you know, the Bucks thought they had a plan to make a big push forward by pairing some talent together in the backcourt, but what seems to have happened is they are now mired in mediocrity, which is exactly where you don't want to be.
And let's get this update now from Doris Burke, who's across the way on the sideline.
Guys, well, Larry Drew had some advice for his team over that last break. He talked about their problems at the free throw line, but tried not to make too big a deal out of it. He said, listen, if we keep getting to the line, the ball will start going through the net. The important thing is keep getting there. Maybe that'll take a little pressure off them, guys.
Thanks, Doris. Now, here is Knight. Outside Mayo. And here's Ilyasova outside. Offensive rebound. The kick outside to Butler. A second chance effort, and he gets it to go. Game moves along. 2 minutes gone here in the fourth. And back to Minnesota. They were the 8th seed in the East last year, but still finished 6 games under 500. Still a lot of work for them to get above 500 and be in a position where, Steve, they are, competing for home court in the playoffs.
Yeah, a lot of changes for the Bucks in the offseason, but a team that was able to sneak in last year, they're hopeful to make it once again this season, but it feels like they're kind of stuck in the middle right now.
Now here's Paul, following the shot by Caron Butler. Jordan up top. He dishes it to Griffin, and out of bounds as the Bucks gain possession.
Such a careless pass. You've got to keep your head in the game here.
Jared Dudley's checked in for the Clippers. Bucks trail by 7. Ilyasova sets a screen for Knight. Kicks it to Ilyasova. Shot by Mayo is no good.
Well, with that much space off the pick, you've got to drop that in.
Yeah, you got to make that one. I mean, that's a high-quality shot you should make 9 out of 10 times.
The 3 from Dudley, and again it's the Clippers missing.
Boy, just by his body language, Kevin, you can tell he thought that triple was going to fall.
Yeah, a little frustrated now, shaking his head after that miss.
Now here's Ilyasova. Back to Knight, fires the 3. Rebounded by Dudley.
Boy, I'm shocked he didn't make that one. He usually knocks that one down with ease.
Now here's Paul. He feeds it to Jordan. Now Griffin inside. Right block shot. And a big bounce off the rim, but it sinks right in. Griffin's got 4 this quarter. Bucks have gone 2 of 7 from the field in what's been a cold start to the fourth quarter for them. And here's Mayo from the arc. Again, Mayo missing. Clark, they can burn some clock if they want to.
Yeah, and maybe buy a little oxygen while they're doing it.
Here's Griffin, and he drops in the layup off the glass. And now an 11-point Clipper lead.
He's been one of their more reliable options today, guys. I mean, his shooting has led them to this lead.
Mayo drives in. Off on the layup.
You see the defenders get out of his way a lot of times when he's on his way to the bucket, but not that time.
And stolen by Ilyasova. Knight dishes to Ilyasova. Knight kicks to Mayo. Pass to Buck. Knight for three. The shot is off. So Los Angeles will take it the other way. Paul gets a screen from Griffin, and it's Paul penetrating. Lays it up and banks it in. And the Clippers lead by 13.
Yeah, they're getting that lead way up there now. I mean, it should be a stroll to the final whistle from here.
Yeah, this late in the game, it'd be almost impossible for them to blow a lead like this.
Now a timeout called by Milwaukee. They're down by 13. We've got 1:18 left to play here in the fourth. And I think Doris Burke has something for us right now. Doris?
Over that last break, Kevin, I got a chance to hear what Larry Drew said to his team. Too many of their shots have been low percentage, he told them. He wants better ball movement on the perimeter to get the shooters better looks. The second thing he mentioned was that they need to play a chaotic brand of defense, not the careful kind. He said, quote, go ahead and take some risks out there. With the minutes ticking down and the deficit still a big one, those adjustments have to be a chance worth taking, Kevin.
And thank you, Doris.
And so only one team answered the bell tonight. Not a monster blowout by any means, but still a double-digit victory for the Clippers.
Clark, this was a physical game.
Yeah, but the awareness they had offensively to penetrate really was the difference.
You always need role players to step up and help, and that was the case here as everything was working for Paul. It was the kind of game for him that all scorers dream of, where the basket just seems to be incredibly wide.
Free throw, good. Paul.
Paul's been great. He has 17 points, and he's done his job at the charity stripe. He's gotten 4 of his points from there.
And that's a good place to get them. You know, they don't come easier than that, but you've got to get yourself there first.
That one is no good.
Well, I tell you what, the Clippers playing in the Western Conference knew they'd have to take care of business facing Eastern Conference opponents, and they did. 21-9 against the East, and a bunch of highlight real plays along the way.
A platoon swap here for the Clippers.
Substitution on the court.
And here are the Clippers. They're on a 13-4 run. Collison kicks to Barnes. Doubled by Henson. Barnes with it, and it's Henson picking him up. Mullins. No good. Now the Bucks take it the other way. And for the Clippers against the East, they had a winning record against every division out there. That's exactly what any coach, Steve, would hope for at the start of the season.
And you'll remember the Clippers went on that big streak in December, and I think the early part of the season they won 17 games in a row. A lot of those games out on the road back east. So I thought that established the tone for the Clippers for last year.
Now Collison. So the Clippers winning this one.